Deputy for the Harris County Sheriff's Office. So this morning at approximately 10:20, Houston police officers were in pursuit of a suspect on the 16,000 block of the North Freeway, where the suspect brandished a weapon, pointed it at officers. Officers returned fire and struck the suspect. The Harris County Sheriff's Office will be the lead investigators for this scene, along with our crime scene and the DA's office shoot team. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chief Acevedo for the Houston Police Department for further details.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Chief Topeka. Thank you, and to Ed Gonzalez and your entire team for always being out here. I think one of the most valuable things that we have going on in this county is that we work collaboratively. All of our organizations, the county and the city and our federal partners and the state all work together to tamp down violent crime. I'm going to go ahead and give you an overview of what occurred this morning, then we'll open up to any questions. And I appreciate everybody's patience. As you know, we have established a violent offender squad with our ATF partners, between the Houston Police Department and our ATF partners, that really works on crime gun, and it's the ATF crime gun squad strike force, excuse me. The strike force has been working a robbery crew, responsible for serial robberies in the Houston, Greater Harris County area. This morning at about 9 a.m. in the 16510 North Freeway, in this vicinity, we started a surveillance at about 9 in the morning of a crew that was recognized for having committed a series of armed robberies in the area. At about 10 a.m., 3 suspects entered and in a vehicle and moved the vehicle to the southeast corner, stopped, and exited the vehicle. One of the passengers pretty much stayed in the vehicle. At about 10:19, the driver, who was one of the main targets wanted for multiple robberies, re-entered the vehicle. And at 10:19, a vehicle containment technique was implemented by Northeast TAC team here in this area to take the suspects into custody. A passenger immediately exited the vehicle armed with a pistol and started running. While he was running away, being chased by officers, he actually threw his pistol and was subsequently taken into custody. The driver, who again was the main target in this case, and that room that you just saw behind us was a room that we saw him go in and out, and I'll show you something we found there a minute ago. We just made entry to make sure that it was actually clear of any other suspects. The driver actually came out armed with a pistol, raised the pistol, and one of our Northeast CST units, not the TAC units, our CST unit, discharged 1 round from a patrol rifle, striking the suspect. That was at about 10:20 a.m. when that shot was fired. At about 10:22 a.m., the officers were able to safely approach and apply a chest seal by Northeast CST to that suspect. Cypress Creek Medic 513 was dispatched at 10:23 a.m., arrived on scene on 10:30 a.m. Myself and Chief Finner arrived shortly after, and I can tell you I watched them frantically working on this suspect to the extent that they even actually gave him blood, gave him a blood transfusion on scene, which is something I've never seen in my career. Despite the valiant efforts of our own people that tried to save the suspect and the Cypress Creek Medic 513, at 10:58 a.m., the suspect was pronounced deceased here from his gunshot wound to the upper torso, chest area. This suspect, again, is a Hispanic male, the one that's deceased, 27 years of age. He actually had open warrants with Harris County from a Harris County case for robbery and was wanted in our investigation for multiple robberies. The suspect that fled on foot and ditched the firearm was taken into custody. He was later, after being arrested, transported by ambulance to a local hospital complaining of chest pain. That suspect, who we actually were here when we actually helped take him into custody, was wearing a bulletproof vest, and he indicated to us, to Chief Fender, that he had actually been shot with that bulletproof vest a short time ago, within the last few weeks. And looking at the vest, sure enough, there's a bullet hole there from some other incident that we're involved in that will be part of our investigation. That suspect, again, has been taken to local hospital uninjured, but he was complaining of pain, and he's being watched carefully by our officers. And then we have a third suspect that's also in custody. So we have one deceased and two that are in custody, one being at the hospital. I'm going to show you all something because I don't think people appreciate the dangers and the risks that our police officers take every day in the defense of the people of Houston and Harris County and across this nation. That room that you saw behind us, I don't know if you can see this or not. That's what we found in that. One of the things that we found in that room is this. Can you all see it?
Is that a rifle?
That's some kind of assault weapon, assault rifle. This is and the both suspects that were caught out here. Pardon me? It went dark?
Yeah. Like it timed out.
Well, you might not be close enough. I'll tweet it out. But I worry about our officers. I worry about our communities. Can you see it?
Hold it slightly down. There you go.
That's what they face. A lot of people talk about police reform, and rightfully so. They talk about police accountability, and rightfully so. But we also need to start talking about violent crime, not just in the city of Houston and Harris County and the state of Texas, but across this country, where police officers are putting their lives at risk every day just to chase the same crook that goes in one door and out the other. We have got to hold everyone accountable. Bad police officers, but just as importantly, the people that are out here committing mayhem in our community. And I'm hopeful that after we get past this COVID, that the public will start paying attention to what's going on with the coddling of violent criminals in this country. It's putting people at risk, and it's putting officers at risk. I want to thank again the Harris County Sheriff's Department for coming out and conducting the criminal investigation. We will conduct, in terms of the actual officer-involved shooting, we will continue our multi-jurisdictional investigation with the ATF and our crime gun strike force. We will continue our investigation into the robberies. We will do everything we can to make sure the suspects that were caught here, the two suspects that were caught here, one that was in that room that we actually helped arrest with that assault rifle I just showed you, that they go to the federal prison where they belong and where they'll get some significant time, hopefully, because they're part of the cause of death of this young man. Our officer will now be placed on administrative leave, which is consistent with our protocols, and then return to limited duty as soon as we can. We will have the district attorney's office here working with the Harris County district attorneys and internal affairs, and our patrol tactics unit from the academies here looking at our tactics to make sure that our tactics are appropriate and we're following our policies and procedures to make sure there's no room for lessons learned to make things safer for everyone in the future. And so with that, I will open it up to any questions.
Can you tell us a little bit more about who exactly went into that room?
That's another one of the suspects that's in custody.
And was that the one? Which suspect was that?
That's the one that's one of the two that's alive, and he actually
Fled?
he actually has a bulletproof vest on. It looks like it has evidence of a bullet strike from one of their capers, according to him. Any other questions?
There's a lot of people looking as you guys went in that room. Talk about, safety.
Well, we are pretty confident that it was going to be vacant because we did get the one suspect that came out of it. But you always have to be safe, safe and not sorry, and that's why we did a controlled entry with a shield to make sure our officers were safe. So everybody was able to get that picture really okay of this rifle.
And it was found in that room or a different room?
In the room that you saw us going in. It was sitting there where you see it.
Talk about the property. I mean, I've been to a number of stores here.
At this property, that's going to be a county thing. So I'll let the the chief deputy can talk about the. This is not our
Right.
area.
So this location falls under the jurisdiction of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and you know we have had some problems here, and we are working aggressively and proactively to take care of that. Our guys work hard every day. Today was no exception. Unfortunately, there's a dead suspect, but we have to do what we have to do to keep the peace. And other than that, I mean, we are proactive out here.
The suspect who died, do you have an ID? Since he has an open warrant?
We do have him ID, but we're not going to release his name. You know, our thoughts are always with the family of a deceased suspect. Doesn't matter whether they're the worst criminal in the world. That's somebody's loved one, and someone cares about him, and my heart goes out to that family. But he's a 27-year-old Hispanic. All the suspects are Hispanic.
Was he staying at this hotel or visiting? For
They had a room at this hotel, and I believe that that's the room that we actually made entry in.
Any other information you can give us about the robberies that they're accused of?
About the what?
The robberies they're accused of?
They're wanted in multiple robberies. We've already tied them to several robberies, and that information will be released in the upcoming days as we put the case together with our federal partners, with the U.S. Attorney's Office. We plan to pursue federal charges. We're hopeful that the U.S. Attorney's Office will actually file charges, since this investigation was conducted by our federal task force that we are on with the ATF. It's a great partner, and they're out here with us today. And so we're hopeful that we'll be able to file some federal charges against the two suspects that are in custody. Okay? No, I'm not going to talk about the rest of them because I don't have all the details, but we'll put that information out. I'm sure you'll see that in some of the charging documents in the upcoming hours or in the day or so. Okay? Thanks, everybody.